Working on the Bezold simple assignment. There's nothing simple about this. This will take some time. But the premise here is that one image will change drastically with the alteration of one color. As you see in the first item, one color is yellow. When you change that to blue, it does change the dynamic of the illustration. Similar here too. Okay, going through here, please watch the video. The objective here, again, is going to be more difficult because we're working with type parameters of value, hue, saturation, and of course luminosity is going to be part of this too. When you open up your file, you're going to see three groups of layers. Chevron for value, hue, and saturation. If I go to it here for a second, each layer is created with several different paths. So we're going to keep these closed, but when you are working on them, you may want to hide the others and lock them if you have them completed, just to make sure you don't accidentally modify some things that you shouldn't. Okay, going back here, there's going to be three sets. So first, value. So the first one going through here is going to be working with one color. You choose whatever color you want to, and you're going to work with the tints and shades of that color. There'll be 4 on the first chevron, and then we'll add a 5th for a different layer. So again, monochromatic, all greens, all blues, all yellows, whatever you want to do. A few parameters in here. First, you choose your base color. Okay, and we'll go through here. I want to find the instruction here. This one's not too bad. To create the tints and shades, you're just changing the luminosity of the color. Okay, so I'll go ahead and walk you through here to get 4 tints and shades in a monochromatic scheme. Okay, going through here, and what we're going for is taking the colors, placing them in there in a position so you're focusing or emphasizing the chevron or like the diamond. Okay, and we'll go to this next one too, that there are different ways to do it. All right, coming back here, let's go ahead and start this first one. So value chevron. So I'm going to choose a color, and I'm just going to go ahead and use a color in my swatches, and I'm just going to grab this one. And when you're selecting, you want to don't go and selecting all the pieces because there's a lot of different pieces in here. You want to select by fill color. So click on one item, do your select menu, go to same, fill color, and then you can keep everything in pretty good check here. So if I click on like a medium blue, all right, I'll go to dark blue. Okay, so there's my first color. I'm going to put this color into a folder, new color group, and this is going to be for value. And here's my first color. Now to make the 4 tints and shades, I'm just going to duplicate this, so you can go to the flyout menu if you want to and duplicate. Oh, I didn't want the group. I'm going to undo that. Can I duplicate the swatch? Duplicate the swatch. It's going up in here. Okay. I'm going to, since it's already there, I'm going to click and drag down. So I've got 4. Nothing is selected. I'm going to go on the next one, just double click it and go to luminosity, or I'm saying, LAB mode, change luminosity. I'm going to go down and make it a lighter blue. There's one. Double click here, luminosity. We'll go down here. Okay. And we'll take the last one on luminosity. So I've got 4. And you might want to add a 5th color. I mean, you're going to in the next phase, but these 4 colors might not work for you right away. But what you're going to be doing is just kind of going through here. I'm like, well, I want the chevron selected. So if I've got a dark blue out here, maybe I'll go to a dark blue out here too. Let me do my select, selecting same, fill color, and I'll go with a somewhat blue too. Okay, on the inside, select same, fill color, and I'll go to a really light one. And then this one here, I'll go to a light one as well. Now looking at this, do you see a chevron or do you see circles? If you squint at it, that's what you really need to do. Take a squint at it. Just kind of close your eyes a little bit and see if the values flow together, where the darks go, where the lights go. And maybe these aren't going to be the right colors for you. You may have to use darker tones or lighter tones. And if you want to do that, let's just say I want to make these lighter. Then I'm going to make sure it's selected first. Then do select all with the same fill again, full color. And double click in here, and maybe I'll make this a little bit lighter. So I'll go to my lab, make this a little bit lighter. Did it work? Did it make any change? Somehow this didn't quite flow. Let me see. This is the same color? Okay, it didn't work. So I'm going to go back here and choose these items again and make sure the colors go in there and make sure these 4 colors still always remain inside. Now, if you squint at that, it kind of works. I might want to again change the values a little bit with the luminosity, but you're going to choose get 4 in a monochromatic value and focus on the chevron. We're going to take a look at a couple options here. Here's another chevron. And then here's another one. Oh, that's the circle. This is backwards. Let's move this down here. And there's a chevron for this one. So this has more darks on the outside and more lights in the middle. Okay, so once you get the 4 in there, what you're going to be doing, and I might modify these a little bit, maybe darker or lighter colors, but again, once this is completed, you're going to duplicate the duplicate layer. You're going to name this circles, double clicking in here. Okay, and by changing one color, adding a 5th color, but only changing one shape, one color on the circle layer, you're changing the focus from chevron to circle. So maybe I want a different, I could either go really light on the outside to kind of match this a little bit, or I could go really dark on the middle to match the outer circle. So let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this color again. There we go. And I'm going to do it 2 different ways. So lab, making this one darker, so a tougher shade. And if I select these, fill color, and again, I'm on the circle layer and make this darker, and you squint, is that making circles or chevrons? So the focus is more on the circles. So again, you might need to modify your tints and shades to kind of make this work better. But let me undo this for a second. And let's say I did this instead. Duplicate this. Oh, I'll just bring it down. Okay. And then I make this a really light shade. Luminosity. Hit OK. And what if I did this? This may not work because I've got a cooler, very light color in the middle. That doesn't quite work as well because I've got too many similar tints in the middle here. So is this a circle? Is this a chevron? I think it can kind of go either way, so it would not be the best scenario. So it's about going back and forth and trying different things. Can I get back to where I wanted to go? Not really. Maybe this would be the better scenario for this situation. And again, squinting. And again, there's my chevron. There's my circle. If I go over here, there's my chevron. There's my circle. So that is the first set. All right. The next one is going to be saturation. This one's kind of hard. If I go to, oh, now I've got them. Okay, is this backwards? Saturation. No, it is hue. My bad. I gotta quit messing things up here. Let me go to hue now. And let's go to the explanations here. And I just want to kind of go back here for a second too. You can go through the slides and take a look. But again, your biggest scenario here is taking the circles. This is kind of what we just did a little bit. Again, this is the completed chevron. Squint at it. The circles emphasized in dark. The circles emphasized in light. Which one works better? That's going to be your choice to work with. Okay? The main thing is, when you're done, the swatches should contain all 5 of the colors used in your layout for those two sets. Okay, next up is value. Oh, this is still value. That's why I'm like all confused here. Okay, here we go. Set 2, layer based on hue. So the focal point here is going to be, again, the chevron, and the requirements are using 4 different colors. Luminosity must be within 2 points. Okay, and here's the color theme that you've got to do. The contrasting hues must be within 150 degrees on the color wheel. So that's less than half. Okay, so if you're going blue-violet, then you can go through red-orange. If you're doing red, then you can go through yellow. Okay, so in other words, it's 5 colors next to each other on the color wheel. So what you want to do first, and you don't have to use all 5, but it's got to be within the 5. So if you just want to use, well, you got red, red-orange, orange, and yellow, yellow-orange. For the first set, are you adding yellow? Are you, just a different shade of one of these colors to get the 5th color? But again, it's got to be within the 5 colors, but it can be a little bit less, a little bit tighter too. Like over here, what my sample is, blue-green through red-violet. So we've got blue-green right here through red-violet. So, and then we got blue-green, some blues, and red-violet. And I have to go, stay within this area for the 5th color. So going through here, then this is going to be the hardest part too. You're going to grab your 5 colors off the color wheel, and then you're going to make sure the lab colors are matching properly. Okay, so going to this element here, I think I've got it here set up. Here's my hue chevron. So I chose my blues through my blue-green, the blues, and the violets, red violets. So I've got them set. Okay, does that work? That actually makes a chevron. That works out kind of nice when I squint at it. I see a chevron. However, I didn't work with the luminosity yet. So what I did is I just grabbed 4 different colors, put them in a folder, but now I've got to make sure my luminosity is the same. So double-clicking on them, go into lab. Okay, it's 44. Let's see what this one is. Lab. Okay, so they're kind of close. This might not be too bad. Let's go to like 44 then. Let's make them all 44. This one's 44, correct? All right, we'll go to the next one. Lab. Man, these worked out pretty good. I just kind of randomly found the colors. Okay, going in here. Lab, going down. Be within 2 points. And lab, and this is going to go up. Okay, now I changed the colors down here, but I do not have the colors in here. So if I click on a color, it's not showing up as the purple, right? So again, you've got to make sure everything works out nicely for you. So go to select, same, fill color, make sure it's the right colors. And this might make things a little bit more tricky. So again, fill, same, grabbing, I think this blue, right? Okay. Same, fill color, the other blue. Oop. What did I do here? You can see that they're a little bit different, but okay, they are a little bit different, so it'll work, but just changing that luminosity modified some things. And this is going to be this color. Okay, so it kind of works, but I do want to have this a little bit different. So let's choose these here. We'll modify this color a little bit. Maybe I'll make it a little bit brighter, a little bit more blue. Luminosity, if you change anything, go back to luminosity and make sure it's within those 2 degrees. And I think it even made it even worse. Okay, so we've got blue-green to blue-violet. All right, we've got to make this a little bit different blue. Let's just change this a lot, then go back to lab, and we'll just go there and see if that, okay, now I definitely have some different colors. Okay, does that work? If I squint at it, am I looking at circles or chevrons? Okay, you know that colors change appearance a little bit depending on what's surrounding them. So it does kind of create kind of an interesting scenario. Okay, once you get this to work, how you want it, and you might have to change the colors completely. You might have to change the positions of them, okay? But again, once you've got that, you're going to duplicate the layer, use chevron, make this circles, okay? I'll lock the chevron so I don't mess anything up. And what's going to be the fifth color in here? Maybe I'll go like a blue violet again. So clicking on here, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this color. And then see, now I changed that color. So it does kind of, let's see, blue, violet, right? Let's go more blue and more violet. Now, can it be purple? Where's my color palette here? My colors. I can go to violet and I can blue. Just make sure I don't go further red. Okay, to stay with my 5 colors next to each other. Okay, so I can go to purple, right? Yep, I can do. That's violet. All right, we'll do that. Then we'll go back to lab again. Bring that back up. Hit OK. This might work out kind of nice. Let's make sure this is still the correct color. Then clicking in here, we'll do select by fill, and we'll go with my new color. And I squint. Am I seeing circles or a chevron? I may need to make that more of a violet because it's got a lot of blue in it, so it's kind of going with the chevron a little bit too. So I'd modify this maybe a little bit more slightly to get the circles maybe more prominent. But you can click on, there's my chevron, and there's a circle. We'll go ahead and take a look at a couple other ones. This one has a lot of red too. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's go to hue. Okay, there we go. Circles and chevrons. And here, we're doing hues. Come on. That's similar to what I did before. Okay. Next up is going to be saturation. So let's go ahead and finish this up. Again, make sure it's 5 colors on the color wheel. Double check to make sure the luminosities are the same. And this is like a sample that I did when I was going through and changing colors and trying to make things work. Sometimes I liked it and sometimes I didn't. This one over here is absolutely horrible, the one in the top right corner. So make sure, are you looking at, again, chevrons or circles? Squint at them to make sure you've got the right thing emphasized. Going through here a little bit. Here's some more samples. Okay, and the last one's going to be based on saturation. So you're going to have one bright hue compared to a neutral gray. Luminosity levels need to be within 2 points too. And choosing your base color. Then you're going to be changing things by saturation. And adding, this is all red here. And then this is the gray. Again, luminosity levels need to be within 2 points. So coming through here, let's kind of go through, there's this, and here's what it's going to look like. We'll go ahead and start it though. Let's see, we're going to be on saturation levels. So a base color, I don't know, I'll just go with a purple this time. So making my selection first. Select, same, fill color, and I'll just use this color here. We've already done kind of that. Let's go to a green. Okay, a bright green. Let's go to a bright green. That is bright. I'm going to make this into a group. This is going to be for saturation. I'm going to go ahead and grab it and pull a couple down because I'll need 3 colors and then 1 gray. So I'm just going to go ahead and click a gray down here and pull this down. Okay, so there's going to be my 3 colors. Saturation, let's take a look at the levels here. HSB, saturation is 68. Okay. And my LAB is 65. Let's go check something really quick. Okay. Once you grab a color, just go and change saturation. Okay, making sure. So I'm going to go and double check here and change the saturation. We'll go darker on one. Okay, higher in saturation, I should say. The next one, we're going to go HSB and go lower. And you can tell when it gets down here, it almost does look gray because you're taking all the saturation out. Okay, so I'll go down this way. All right, now let's see what we've got here. We're going to make going to click and drag. Oh, we didn't do this one. Did we check luminosity? My bad here. What was luminosity? 65? 65? 65? And 65. All right, now let's put the colors in here. And we're just going to randomly stick them in there, making sure these are all the right colors. There's one. Here's two. I don't like that. That is too close at this point. Let's go in here and take my saturation down. Okay. Even a little bit further. Okay. Now let's go in here, selecting same fill, and we'll go to gray, and we'll go to gray. And that worked out pretty good. So once again, you get the saturation. That looked out really well. Duplicate the layer here. Go to circles. And you want to get a fifth color. I'm going to lock this and go and turn this off. And I know some people have changed this color depending on where you put the colors. In here, let's go and make this a really bright color. So I'm going to, again, take this color, duplicate it. And this one, I know I've got to do the saturation all the way up. So that's fine. And if I change these, that worked out quite well too. So it just depends, again, where you put the placement in here of the different colors. So here's an option. So you're going to choose one color, saturation values, and then add one gray. And again, changing one color from chevron to circle, one color, one shape changes. You cannot change a bunch of different colors. Let's say we did this. Let me go to this one here, because this happens a lot on this one. Let's say, okay, I've got the hue. Where's a good hue? All right, here's a hue. Okay, I'm going to make this bad. All right, we're going to take this hue chevron. We're going to copy it, duplicate, and this is going to be circles. And this is going to be the, incorrect file. So I do have this happen a lot, and please don't, where they go and change several colors. So I'm like, well, I'm going to make this one blue, and I'm going to take these and make this purple. Oops, wrong one. We'll try this one. So now I've made circles prominent, but I've changed too many colors. I changed the background from green to blue, and I changed the inner circles too. So you can't do that. You can only change one shape, one color to change a focus from chevron to circle. And last thing I want you to do, sometimes when you've gone through here and all the colors, make sure all the colors are actually in the folder. So you may need to make the folder over again. And an easy way to do that, let's just say I'm on circles, and I can do a selection of just circles. And then I can make a folder here. So make a new color group with these four. And this is going to be hue final. But you'll need that fifth color in there too. So you can actually have two items selected, two layers selected. And then this should give you your fifth color. Whoops, wrong flyout menu. New color group. And this is going to be hue final 2. There's my 5 colors. And if that's the case, I'll take these and delete, just to make sure when I come in here and I click on a color, and they're going to be down here, and I can click it and I can go back and check all your numbers here. So hopefully that makes sense through this whole thing. And there's your bezel.